Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Before I begin, don't forget to join my Discord server called Luke 10's Hangar. I plan on joining weekly, so if anybody wants to fly together, we can make that happen. My Discord server is linked down in the description below. Today I'll be flying out the Northrop P-61C-1 Black Widow. The P-61 Black Widow was the first American aircraft designed specifically as a night fighter, and the P-61C-1 was the final production variant of the series. The P-61 program began after British success with radar-equipped night fighters like the Bristol Beaufighter. In 1940, the U.S. Army Air Corps requested a dedicated night fighter to match or exceed those capabilities. Northrop, under the leadership of Jack Northrop, proposed a twin-engine aircraft built around a central weapons pod and a crew of three, a pilot, a gunner, and a radar operator. The first prototype was the YP-61, and it flew in May of 1942. Production began with the P-61A, followed by the P-61B with improved radar and a longer fuselage. The biggest upgrade in the C model was the switch to twin Pratt & Whitney R2800-73 double WASP engines. They were both equipped with turbo superchargers. The P-61C-1 was equipped with four 20mm AN M2 cannons and four 50 caliber machine guns for the turret, and was also equipped with a Mark 10 search radar with a range of about 5 miles. P-61C production began in 1945 with only 41 units built before production ended. Due to its late arrival, the P-61C did not see combat in World War II. The war ended just as P-61C units were being delivered to the operational squadrons. Most ended up serving in training, research, or air defense roles. Although the P-61C-1 didn't engage in combat, it contributed in several significant ways. Modified P-61Cs were used by the U.S. Weather Bureau and NACA for high-altitude atmospheric studies. The P-61 series, particularly the C model, was ahead of its time in terms of radar integration, including its night fighting capabilities and sheer power. Only 4 complete P-61s are known to survive today, and one of them, a P-61C-1NO, serial number 438330, has been beautifully restored and is on display at the National Air and Space Museum's Udvar-Hazy Center in Virginia. Overall, the P-61 was one of the few aircraft where the U.S. forces could claim night air superiority, especially over the Pacific Theater with earlier models. That's all for the history lesson. I hope you enjoy the combat. Right now I'm just trying to climb as high as I can so I can boom and zoom some people. The P-61 is a very heavy aircraft, so I would definitely try to side climb a little bit farther away than you normally would in any other fighter. And just because I say fighter doesn't mean that this aircraft is very good at dogfighting. As much as you're already a flying boat, you definitely want to try to keep your speed up to make yourself not as much of one. So therefore, if you have a lot of altitude, you're going to have a lot of room to work with. I see this helldiver right in front of me who wants to go head on. I definitely don't want to do that because that's extremely 50-50. I'm going to make a 180 here and see if he'll get bored. If he doesn't get bored, I still have some really good gunners that I can use on him. I look behind me and just like that, exactly what I wanted him to do, get bored. So now I'm just going to use this to my advantage and climb. I want to make sure that I'm the highest guy in the sky. I'm seeing a lot of enemies below me and on my teammates, so I'm definitely going to try to help out my teammates here. Looks like the closest guy is definitely the B-25, so I'm going to try to kill him. I have him in sight, just breaking out of the clouds. Now I'm going to dive on him, but before I do that, I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. I fire at him here, and get a beautiful snipe. And then immediately after they kill him, I'm going to climb back up to altitude, and I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. Now it's just me left on the team, and it's a 1v4. I know 2 out of the 4 enemies are a Helldiver and a BF-109. And then just a couple seconds later, I see in the kill feed that another guy's a P-51C. Now I know 3 out of the 4 guys on the enemy team. I know the P-51's low and to my left, and then these 2 guys are definitely below me. Now I just need to figure out where this other guy is. I really would like to dive here, but it's just making me a little worried that I don't see the last guy, and he's probably a fighter. And then just about a minute later, I see that there's a BF-109 climbing straight up to me. Thankfully, I never dove. Thankfully, this guy's also an idiot because he just went straight vertical on a guy who's a mile above him. I know he's a BF-109 and pretty hard to stall, but I know he's definitely not going to be able to get up to me that far. But then I lose him in the clouds, so I know I'm definitely not going to be diving on him. All I have to do here is just climb back up to altitude again. With the choices that he made, I know that he's probably going to be coming back around pretty soon. I look behind me and I have him in sight again. I just have to be very careful because I know that he can outclimb me. I want to try to close the gap as much as I can. If I get too far away from him, he will definitely outclimb me. He starts to dive and give me the altitude advantage, which I really thank him for. I see what he's trying to do though. He's trying to bait me all the way down to his airfield so I can die to the artillery. He realized that it didn't work, so now he thinks that it's a good idea to climb straight up to me and stall himself out. Now all I have to do here is just turn back around towards him. Unfortunately, he's getting a little too far away, and then I see a BF-109 out of the corner of my eye. This guy's doing the exact same thing, which is great for me. All I have to do here is just energy trap him. I also see the barrage of bullets that he's firing at me. I know he's running the gun pod, so his performance is going to definitely be very hindered. I just need to make sure that I don't get too low. These clouds are really helping me out with this artillery. Of course, they disappear like they were literally never even here. I know I still have plenty of time, so I'm just going to use that to my advantage. I know that they're probably in this general vicinity. One finally showed himself after a couple minutes, so now all I have to do here is just energy trap him. Hopefully third time's a charm here. The second that I see him completely stalled out, I'm going to start my turn. I'm going to turn in a lot earlier than I normally would, and I'm going to put my flaps down to try to turn in even more. I know I really need to take this guy out. I fire at him there, set him on fire, and he's gone. Once again, immediately after I kill him, I'm going to climb back up to altitude, and Will's going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. Now I see in the kill feed that the Helldiver is also killing ground targets, probably with that P-51. So now using that information, I'm going to say that there are probably 2 enemies towards our ground targets. I finally make the decision to try to dive down towards them, but then of course as I'm diving, I see this P-51 come straight out of the clouds, so I'm just going to climb back up again and try to energy trap him. He's just going to keep climbing straight up towards me, which is great for me. All I have to do here is just turn around a lot earlier than I normally would, and then since he's going to have no airspeed or energy, I'm just going to get behind him. I fire at him there, set him on fire, and I'm just going to pull back up and try to kill him with my gunner. But before I'm able to hit him, his wingtip gets ripped off, so I'm just going to pull back up. Now I'm just getting a little tired of me losing these guys in the clouds, and I'm also running a little low on time. I see the Helldiver, so now I'm going to dive on him. As I was in the dive, I pull out my air brake just to not gain as much airspeed. He starts to turn. I'm going to try to turn in with him, fire at him there, but unfortunately just barely miss him. Now I'm just going to climb back up to altitude, and Will's going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings for another pass. But then of course, after multiple minutes of me not seeing this BF-109, he just magically stays above me. Now I'm in a little bit of trouble here, so I'm just going to try to turn in towards the airfield and get in my gunner view to try to kill him. I'm going to fire at him a lot earlier than I normally would just to try to scare him off a little bit. Clearly I didn't scare him at all, and he's just going to keep diving down to me. And then I'm going to do some evasive maneuvers. The BF-109 is literally better than me in every way, and I also have to be careful of that Helldiver around me. And then just what I was afraid of, the BF-109 is just going to keep climbing up and boom and zooming me. I'm definitely not going to follow him up because I know I don't have the airspeed or energy. I'm just trying to make it back to the airfield as quickly as I can. I also need to make sure I don't get too low, so I'm also going to be climbing in the process. If I get too low, I'm not going to be able to maneuver and I can't get my airspeed or energy back. He starts to dive straight down and towards me. I'm just trying to get him to compress here and try to get him to overshoot. I start turning in. He fires at me. I'm just going to keep trying to dodge the bullets. I go up and around him, make him overshoot, but then unfortunately I'm not able to follow him up. I'm going to try to go to the gunner view, see if I can get some hits on him. He starts to dive back down towards me. I'm able to hit him there. So now he's just going to keep getting closer and closer. I'm going to push my nose down here to become more nimble and try to jink out of the way. A jink is an evasive maneuver. He fires at me there. He unfortunately hits me. I'm going to go up and around him, try to get a good shot off. He goes straight in front of my nose, but then unfortunately I just barely miss him. I know I can't follow him up here, so I'm just going to have to fully commit to the gunner. I know the only way for me to win this here is just to try to kill him with the gunner. All I need to do here is just spam. I keep firing at him, and then thankfully I'm able to hit him, but then he sets me on fire. I thought it was an engine fire at first, so I inherently just cut my engines. But then I realized that it was just a fuel fire, and then thankfully the fire goes out. Now I see that my wing didn't just fall off. I need to restart my engines and head back to the airfield as quickly as I can. I know I'm looking very lean on time here, and this really isn't very good for me. I'm losing on tickets pretty badly. As I'm heading back to the airfield, I know that that Helldiver that I was chasing earlier probably isn't around me. So now I'm just going to kill some ground. I'm not going to turn back around for the ground targets. I know I just need to get back to the airfield. If my right engine quits, I'm probably not going to be able to get back on just one engine at this altitude. I just need to start a very shallow climb. I know I'm definitely not going to be able to go around here, so this is my only attempt at landing. My nose is definitely very high, but I still have all this excess energy and airspeed that I need to bleed off. I kill the power here, start to drift, so then I use my rudder input to control that, and then I'm able to save it. And then about 2 minutes after I take off, that Helldiver's right above me. But unfortunately, we only have like 30 seconds left in the game. I know I can't get too close, and we also don't have enough time, so I know I'm just going to lose the game. He's also just flying away from me, which really doesn't help. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my video. If anybody has any suggestions on what aircraft they want me to fly next, please leave it in the comment section down below, and I'd be happy to fly that aircraft.